You and I have something in common. Every year we struggle to put together a top 10 list of the best games of the year. But this time it's really easy, so let's have a look at my picks for the 10 best games of 2024. And I'm sure you will be surprised by some of my picks and that some games are missing here. What are your favorite games of 2024? Let us all know in the comments. Alright, let's go. I haven't really got into strategy RPGs, but when Unicorn Overload got announced, I knew I would like it. And boy was I right. Unicorn Overload is so good that I was completely addicted to it, and there are so many reasons for that. First and foremost, the gameplay. In this strategy RPG you have to bring 10 units of up to 5 characters each into battle and defeat the enemies. I know this sounds simple, but doing side quests to recruit more unique characters and create synergies between them for the maximum amount of power in combat is immensely fun. While the actual fight between two units works automatically, it's your party composition, equipment and skill set that determines if you win or lose. On top of that, you need to strategize your units on the battlefield, make use of their unique abilities, take care of the effects of the environment, and so much more. And the feeling when you destroy all enemy units in no time because you spent a lot of time perfecting all of that is just the best feeling ever. Another reason I was so addicted is that there's simply so much stuff to do, and personally, I couldn't stop liberating all villages, doing all the side quests and arena fights. It was just so much fun. The overarching story itself won't win any awards, but the 5 arcs all have the interesting and engaging moments. Honestly, if this is how much fun strategy RPGs can be, I really need to get into the genre because Unicorn Overload most certainly is one of the most fun I had with the game this year. I gotta be honest, when Echoes of Wisdom got announced, I was a bit skeptical if this was going to work, but after just a couple of hours, I knew that this would be on my top 10 list. The echo mechanic was such a great idea, as it requires clever thinking and encourages creativity in solving puzzles. This is further enhanced by the sheer amount of echoes to choose from, which results in a freedom of puzzle solving I love to see in a game. There are just so many ways to get from point A to point B, it's crazy. Where the echoes truly shine though is in the exploration of the surprisingly large world. In every corner of Hyrule there's something to discover, and the many echoes are the perfect tool to find secret paths, hidden treasure chests, or simply more echoes. Collecting them is an addiction on its own and almost feels like collecting Pokemon. While combat can take some time to get used to, I started to really enjoy it as soon as I looked at combat, as it's just another kind of puzzle. A rather simple one, but one that has to be solved. Echoes of Wisdom feels like the perfect combination of the open world Zelda titles and the dungeon and puzzle solving focused classics like Link's Awakening. If this is how much fun a game centered around Zelda herself is, then I really hope this wasn't the last adventure with her. Okay, so Persona 3 Reload was the first game in the series that I played, and man oh man, what a blast I had. This was also the first time I played a game with social elements like this, which was easily the best part about this game. The characters of Persona 3 won my heart instantly, because the dialogues are written so well and everyone has their own complex and likable personality. That made me care about the fate of each character and got me even more invested in the fantastic story. Seriously, the story was super exciting and the twists and turns really surprised me. While I personally wish for a tighter pacing so that the emotional weight of some events would be more meaningful, the space between the big plot points are filled with these great character interactions, which is a design choice I respect. Overall, I'm sure that this is a story I will remember for quite some time. Just as I will never forget you for hitting this cute subscribe button if you want to see more videos about JRPGs, indie games and more. What got me really addicted though is the turn-based combat that, even after 60 hours, never got boring because fusing and collecting demons adds so much depth and strategy. And the graphics, presentation and aesthetic simply blew me away. After playing this, I cannot wait to play more games in this series. I've talked about Dungeons of Hinterberg a couple of times on this channel, but it's just so good and that's why it's on this list. This action-adventure is a great combination of dungeon exploration inspired by The Legend of Zelda and light social elements similar to Persona, where planning your day is a crucial part of the gameplay. During the day you explore a really unique world and usually enter one of the 25 handcrafted dungeons. While they start off pretty standard, you soon realize that puzzle mechanics and how you use the different magic spells gets more and more creative. Every single one of these dungeons comes with a unique twist that is A, fun to get behind, and B, makes the overall gameplay varied and feel fresh the whole time. I really don't want to spoil a single thing here because I think these moments are the best part of this game, and you should really experience them on your own. And then there's the social aspect that is fantastically intertwined with the gameplay. As you deepen the relationships with the various characters, they reward you with rare items, health upgrades, and so much more, which makes planning these relationships crucial for getting stronger. Overall, I love this gameplay loop so much, and I really hope that more people give this game a chance. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is incredibly good, and I can't believe I actually say this about a Ubisoft game. This Metroidvania has almost everything I love about the genre. The combat is fast, responsive, and feels super snappy thanks to great movement abilities, extensive combos, and powerful special attacks. There's a great enemy variety, bosses are designed super well, and they actually offer a real challenge. The many distinct areas are a blast to explore, since all the movement abilities never stop being fun, and there are countless secrets to find. The best thing is that every major ability you get is useful both for combat and traversal, which results in dynamic battles and exploration that never gets old. Oh, and speaking of exploration, this game has one of the most simple yet best features in any Metroidvania. You can take photos, which are automatically added to the map. That way you don't need to remember thousands of places whenever you get a new ability. Admittedly, the story has a couple of plot holes, but I didn't care because the gameplay was so much fun. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is simply one of the best Metroidvanias I've ever played, and I think way too many people skip this awesome game. I highly recommend you give this one a go, I'm sure you won't regret it. Mini Shoot Adventure is another game I mentioned on this channel countless times, but there is a reason it's so high on this list. This one is another brilliant genre mix, as exploration works similar to The Legend of Zelda, but combat is bullet hell at its best. The world is vast and filled with secret paths, hidden items, and even some optional puzzles. The dungeons, on the other hand, reward you with cool abilities that unlock new areas, which means more stuff to explore. Exploration is definitely the highlight, since there are tons and tons of secrets to find, like heart pieces for more health and a lot of other things. Finding these secrets not only is super satisfying, but super rewarding too. That's because you also gain XP that can then be used to upgrade your ship, with a higher fire rate, more damage, greater speed, and so much more. Upgrading your harmless and cute ship to a war machine that fires hundreds of bullets in seconds is just so much fun. Mini Shoot Adventure is another one of these addictive games that I've played this year, and this perfectly designed gameplay loop is why this is one of the best games of this year. Astrobot is the one game on this list I can't say anything negative about. The only criticism I have is that there isn't more of it. I grew up with platformers, but I never imagined that one of the best I've ever played would come out this year. The creative work that went into each of the levels is simply outstanding. That's because the many power-ups of Astrobot are utilized in unique and so many different ways. Every time you think you understand how an ability works, the game throws a new way of using it at you, and that is just always surprising and a joy to discover. And if you want to get into detail here real quick, I am amazed by how cleverly designed the levels themselves are. Almost every level subtly establishes either a concept or a mechanic so that the player is prepared for what's to come, and then builds on the idea as you get further into the level. That's just peak game design. The many hidden bots, puzzle pieces and portals to bonus levels add just the right dose of exploration and make you want to get behind every corner. I could go on and talk about the brilliance of Astrobot for hours, so I cut it short. Astrobot is a 10 out of 10 and quickly jumped on the list of my favorite games of all time. After playing the demo of Stellar Blade, I didn't really think this is going to be anything special, but man, I've never been so wrong in my life. For me, this is one of the best action games ever created, I'm serious. The combat centered around parrying and building up energy to unleash powerful skills is done so perfectly. The parry itself feels immensely satisfying and rewarding, as mastering it is key to victory. The many enemy types and bosses constantly introduce new ways to approach combat and offer a challenge that perfectly balances the concept of easy to learn but hard to master. And the sheer amount of options you have in combat is mind-blowing for an action game like this. Okay, the action is great in an action game, maybe no surprise here. But what I didn't expect was how often and well Stellar Blade offers variety to the normal gameplay. There are sections in which you can't use the sword, or you have to use a crane to cross a big gap, or you have to slide down a hypertube, and so much more. That variety keeps the gameplay fresh and fun the whole time. While the story isn't a masterpiece, there are many moments that surprised me or were just extremely epic. And a huge shout out to the incredible soundtrack that I completely fell in love with. Even after months of playing this, I can't believe how good Stellar Blade is. And I simply can't get it out of my head. Metaphor ReFantasio checked all the boxes for me, and I completely fell in love with this game. What I love the most about Metaphor is that it actually has a really unique world, both in regards to the aesthetic and the atmosphere. The whole world building with all the creatures and different tribes are so interesting and create a universe that I just want to see more of. And I'm really impressed how well Atlus managed to display racism and discrimination. They didn't use it for just one character's backstory or a handful of situations like we all know from bad written movies or something. No, they leaned in hard and showed that racism is omnipresent. We don't see stuff like that very often. The thing that really made me addicted to Metaphor is its gameplay though. The blend of real-time and turn-based combat proved to be a brilliant mix, as it killed all the potential frustration I could have had with it. Being able to hack and slash through weak enemies while still earning a relevant amount of XP made grinding so incredibly rewarding and fun. And usually I rarely grind, but this game made me do it and I loved it. Making new friends and getting new archetypes, which are basically classes, is an addiction on its own, because that way the social aspects and combat gameplay are connected with each other, much more so than, let's say, Persona 3. For me, the story itself starts off a bit slow, with the game feeling more like an anime with different arcs. But later on, it gets wild. I mean, the payoff is crazy. There are some moments in this game that knocked my socks off. All this created an incredible experience for me, and I just couldn't put down the controller. This JRPG is simply one of the best games I've ever played. I still can't believe that we actually got this game. Especially after the credits roll, I was just blown away. I know Final Fantasy VII Rebirth isn't perfect by any means, but everything it did right, I think it did exceptionally well. The well-known story of the original was expanded and added so much more depth and epic moments that the story got even more engaging than it was before. I think this works so well because Remake set up all kinds of possibilities with its unexpected changes to the original. So for Rebirth, there was this anticipation of what surprising twists might await me and a feeling of coming home to a world I love to be in since 1997. The result is a story I feel familiar with for the most part, but with moments staged so incredibly well thanks to the amazing voice cast and actors. I was on the edge of my seat, I laughed a lot, and I cried like a baby. Yeah, that's what a story did to me. But a story is nothing without its characters, and man, the cast of FF7 was almost my favorite in gaming, but Remake and Rebirth just knocked it out of the park. Their highly likable personalities and engaging backstories embedded in brilliant written dialogue made these characters feel so real and authentic. All the personal stories like Barrett's and Red 13's are fantastic stories on their own, and the way that they portrayed was simply amazing. Then there's the absolute brilliant combat system that feels so good that it was impossible for me to put down the controller. Especially some of the boss fights and their spectacle are so great that I'm sure I will remember them for a very long time. I love the simple yet rewarding exploration in this game. I enjoyed the heck out of the side quests, and yes, I even fell in love with the minigames. Not all of them, and I also wasn't a big fan of me being forced to play multiple minigames in Costa del Sol, but that was just like 1 hour of my roughly 95-hour playthrough, so I can live with that. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is an outstanding game, and every time I think about it, I want to go back and replay it. I know it's not for everyone, but for me, this is one of the best JRPGs ever, and the best game of 2024. Alright, that's the list, my top 10 games of 2024. What does your top 10 look like, and do you agree with my list? Let me know in the comments and hit subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Alright, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.